Welcome back to another episode of the Group Chat Odds On edition, where we are going to preview the weekend of sport and hopefully find some winners. Now, I'm joined by Phil again. Phil, how you doing?
Terrible.
Tell
No
me
English
why.
Premier League. It's very upsetting. The international break has come back to haunt us.
Tis the Nations Cup.
Oh, yes, sorry.
The all-important
Nations Cup, yes.
Nations Cup
Very
is here.
important. Yes.
Why else are you doing terrible?
Just that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just, a player advocate. I think they're playing too many games for the international teams. I think it means nothing. So, yeah.
Well,
No
one
Brentford
thing...
1 minute goal this weekend.
Yeah, true. That's going to put an end to that hot streak.
No Johnny Evans MVP, So.
One thing I did about that international break, which I am looking forward to, I want to see where Cole Palmer plays for England after hearing that the best position for him is definitely not left back, which I feel like makes sense. So you're right. It could be goalkeeper.
Yep.
Maybe they play around and move him to the right hand
They do
side.
call him Pen Palmer, so it makes sense if he was in goal.
Yeah, so that's the only thing international break-wise I'm looking forward to. The All Whites are actually in New Zealand. They play...
I should hope so.
Yeah.
New Zealand team.
Yeah. But they're playing Malaysia, I believe, in Auckland on the 14th, I want to say.
Come on, Chris Wood.
So that'll be cool. But it feels like there's not a lot of action this weekend. We've continually said there's so much going on. It feels like there's not a lot this weekend.
Luckily to save us is the NPC quarterfinals.
NPC quarterfinals. But I did find that with not much on,
They've been cancelled.
Like the rugby, we've had All Blacks, we've had Premier League, we've had a whole bunch of stuff on. Obviously, the NFL is still going. But it allowed me to have a bit of a deeper dive into the weekend of sport. So I've actually come out. If you look at the surface, it feels like there's not a lot on. When you dive a little bit deeper into the more niche things, there's a whole lot going on.
I'm all ears.
So we kick things off. We're gonna start off. I'm gonna work my way down my list about what's on this weekend. Bathurst, Mount Panorama. Not too much of a Kiwi presence there, but we do have the rookie Ryan Wood, who is going to be racing the number 2 car with Fabian Coulthard as his partner, paying $41 to win the race. But
get up. I
think he's paying like $5 for a top 10 finish and maybe like 8s or 9s for a top 6 finish.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. We've got the America's Cup, which has felt like it's been going on for ages and still yet to start. The Louis Vuitton America's Cup, where New Zealand finally have or know who they're going to take on in their defence of the 37th Louis Vuitton America's Cup. And that is Ineos Britannia, who won the Challenger Series. And that kicks off on Sunday with 2 races.
Okay.
Now, the America's Cup format this year is first to 7 points. And 2 races a day. Whoever gets to 7 wins, and then they'll defend the 38th America's Cup in a couple of years' time. Obviously, the NPC quarterfinals, Lions versus Counties.
Big.
The Battle of the Bays. We've got a Crusaders quarterfinal, Crusaders only. And then the Naki versus Waikato. So, got 4 good games of rugby.
Yep.
UFC Fight Night. Is that tickling you?
There's a fight in there.
Yeah?
That tickles my fancy. Most certainly.
Okay. We've got the Women's T20 World Cup as well. New Zealand. They're 1 and 2 to start their pool play. There's just 2 pools. They lost to Aussie, but they did beat India. So they'll come up against Sri Lanka this weekend, and then they'll face Pakistan in their last pool game. If they win both of those, they should have a look in at the semi-final. If Australia beat India, that'll help us with our chances.
Okay.
And that means we won't need to play Australia in the semi-final, because playing Australia in semi-finals in New Zealand cricket does not really bode well for us. NFL, I'll be keeping an eye on all of it as per usual, but there is a game of the week for me in the Commanders versus Ravens. That'll be seriously good. That is the morning game as well, 6 a.m., so I'll be up early Monday. College football is a wild weekend. This has been a date that a lot of college punters have been saving on their calendar or circling. We've got Texas versus Oklahoma, Ohio State versus Oregon, Ole Miss versus LSU, Alabama versus South Carolina, Penn State versus USC, and Tennessee versus the Florida Gators, amongst all the other 100 games. But they're just some of the big ones. The MLB postseason is heating up. We're just watching the Mets versus the Phillies, and the Mets are trying to close out the divisional series and head to the championship series of the National League. And if we're sticking with America, the NHL has just kicked off with their new club, Utah Hockey Club. And the NBA preseason is underway as well, with the actual season not too far around the corner. Which means, if we stay in the Northern Hemisphere, we're reaching the Sport Equinox. Have you heard of the Sport Equinox before?
No idea.
The Sport Equinox is where it's only happened 30 times, I believe. The 4 major sports in America all have games scheduled on one day. So, October 30th, we have the Steelers versus the Giants on Monday Night Football. We have Game 3 of the MLB World Series, whoever that is, whoever gets into that one. And then there are 11 NBA games and 8 NHL games, all on the one day. The Sport Equinox for American punters is a day that they dream of. There's so much betting, so much money to be staked on that across, what is that, 19, 20, 21 different games. 11 NBA, 8 NHL, 1 football game, 1 baseball game.
It's too much. It's too much. There's just, how do you track all of that? There's just no way.
It's the Sport Equinox. Doesn't come around very often.
Yeah.
And so you got to get around it if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not into it, I feel like you couldn't give a fuck.
American sport, yeah.
So that's where I kind of dive into.
Did they not call it the World Equinox? Because they're world champions.
Yeah. Well, the World Series, baseball, yep, so that is on. The Super Bowl, you're world champions. NBA, they put themselves down as world champions. I don't know what hockey do, but they do include Canada in the hockey. So
they do, yeah.
There's more, and Canada are part of the Commonwealth as well.
Indeed.
So you can kind of incorporate the whole Commonwealth into your NHL. But yeah, that's what I've got this weekend. So from the top, it doesn't feel like there's a lot on. When you dive a little bit deeper and find your niche.
And you find your niche. You haven't even touched on esports either.
You got some esports?
It keeps going.
Because I don't. Is there anything happening?
There's always esports on. There's esports on like every day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends how far you want to scrape down. I'm sure there's some table tennis going on.
Darts is a great one to bet on.
Yep.
I was watching the darts this morning, actually. Old Rob Cross making his way into the semi-finals.
Indeed.
Good play. Okay, where do you want to start with? Do you want to do our quarterfinal picks? Because that's probably the most relevant to us here in little old New Zealand.
Yep. Probably the most likely of things that I will be watching. Out of
everything you've mentioned. Nations Cup? America's Cup?
Nope.
Emirates Team New Zealand? The sailing doesn't tickle you?
Nope.
Not even in Barcelona?
Nope.
Barcelona tickle you?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are Barcelona playing?
Yeah.
No, so quarterfinals.
Hit me, with we'll go. The first game on the slate is the Lions versus Counties. Monaco. Wellington are $1.40 favourites.
Yeah,
with Counties paying what, $3?
No, $4.20 at the moment. They are skyrocketing.
Why is that? Have teams been named?
I tried to look at the teams. I couldn't find any teams information at the time. So, questionable.
So what do you think in that game?
Questionable.
Who have you got coming out on
top?
Well,
420 is crazy to me.
Yep.
If the round 8 result was anything to go by. Oddly enough, also their last week results were very, very similar. Wellington winning 46-28 against Hawke's Bay. Counties 45-26 against Manawatu. Look, if 420, as I said, is just a crazy odds for me. If you were to say the line was a bit closer, I would say Wellington squeezed the win. But when I saw Counties at 420.
Mm.
I say I'm going on counties.
Oh, yeah? So you reckon if there's going to be an upset in the first game of the round come
if you had
into Sky Stadium?
Well, I'll say this. If you had told me what I thought was going to happen, no odds, I say Wellington squeeze a win. I think it'll be close.
Yeah.
I turn on the Betcha app and see 420. I go, counties are winning.
Yeah, okay.
Counties are winning.
So you're letting the value sway your decision. Well, you're not going to bet on Wellington to win at $1.20.
You're correct, I'm not. Counties to win at 420.
So
what are you thinking?
Hang on, is that what you're betting on, or is that what you think counties will win, or you just want counties to win because of the 420 value that you're going to bet on?
I am backing counties to win because I want them to win. Nothing to do with 420 at all.
Okay. I seem to agree with thinking Wellington will squeeze out a close win.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot closer than the odds do suggest. I had a look, and I was also surprised to see the point start line is at 11.5.
Yeah, that didn't do it for me either. For some reason. No.
Well, it did it for me.
Oh.
But in the way of counties, I think I said it in the podcast earlier, was counties looked very good last week. They had Cam Roigard back, Hoskins Tutu, Dalton Papali'i. They've got a good team, and like I said, Dalton made Manawatu look like under 12s.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to do the same to Wellington, because Wellington also have a very strong team. Lots of Super Rugby experience. I don't know if we're going to get any ABs in there, but
ABs XB perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Peter Larko will be in there. Riley Higgins, they will be in there. But I think Wellington do win, but not by a margin of 12 or more. I don't think. So I'm happy to. If I'm betting on the game, I would probably go counties plus 11.5.
Yep.
Maybe the over 57.5 points, because we just both saw them have a combined 91 points in their last game, and probably a Cam Roigard try.
Ooh, off the bench, maybe.
Well,
depends on the lineup.
At, Sky Stadium feels like home for him.
Indeed.
So yeah. That would be a little same-game multi I could do. It depends on what Cam Roigard does, but
interesting to see what happens once the teams are named as well.
Okay, so I have Wellington winning. You have counties winning.
Okay.
Next up.
What, so you're going the 120 then?
No, I'm backing counties plus 11.5.
Okay.
But I think Wellington win. So counties to cover.
Yeah.
So, but I hope Wellington win,
Yeah, of course.
Lions, man,
Of course.
We'll move to the Battle of the Bays. Bay of Plenty taking on the Magpies. Where you going? Bay of Plenty, $1.30 favourites. Magpies, not quite 420, but 320 to upset the Steamers.
Yeah. Bay of Plenty.
Yeah, I agree.
What was my thought process on this? This has to do with my stat play as well.
Okay.
The quarterfinal last year, being a 66-point game. I think the other game in that same season was a 73-point game. So,
all in favour of the Steamers?
I think Hawke's Bay won last year.
Okay.
So, I'm looking at something similar this week. But we'll get to the stat play.
Yeah, cool.
I think Bay of Plenty will probably be the defensively better side here. I do think it'll be high scoring, but I see Bay of Plenty winning at 130.
Well, that total points is set at 60.5, so the bookies tend to agree that it'll be higher scoring. I do think the Steamers are just a better side. The Magpies started off with a hiss and a roar. Once they lost the Shield.
Bit of a slump.
Maybe fought their way back a little bit, but not enough. I mean, it's finals footy, knockout footy. I don't think they've got enough gas in the tank. Okay, so we're both on Bay of Plenty there.
Yeah.
So then we go to Taranaki versus Waikato. Where are you going? Taranaki, $1.40 favourites. Waikato, $2.70.
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit in the previous podcast. Is there a potential that Taranaki played their quarterfinal already and getting that shield? I am a Waikato fan as well, obviously, so I think perhaps Waikato at 270. Waikato women also won the Farah Cup last week.
Yep.
So I'm sure the fellas, the boys, the lads, they want to continue that winning form.
Yep.
In that jersey.
Fair enough too.
270 as the underdogs, I like, as you know.
Yeah, you do like your underdogs. Well, I think Taranaki are going to come out on top on this one.
How dare you?
They did look good against Tasman. They deserved to win that. They took the game to Tasman.
Mm-hmm.
Tasman being one of the better teams in the comp. Tough turnaround for them. But yeah, I think they'll just head into this game with a whole bunch of confidence. If they didn't celebrate the Ranfurly Shield for an extra night or two, which I don't know if they did, if they kept themselves fresh, and I feel like they know there's a little bit more to the season. They don't want to just have the Ranfurly Shield locked away. They want to go and do the double and bring home the Bunnings NPC as well. So I think they're going to get past the quarterfinals.
All right.
Okay, so we've split again. Let's see in the All Crusaders quarterfinal, the Marcos versus Canterbury. Marcos paying $1.33, Canterbury paying $3.10.
There's not a lot in those last two games either. I think it was 6.5 and 8.5 in the point spread. So
yeah, you're right.
They should both be close regardless. Yeah, Tasman win here, I think. Shock to the system last week. I think they bounced back.
Yep.
It's pretty much all I've got for this one.
Could almost be what they needed. A bit of a punch in the gut, like they're kind of cruising.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost the shield, but there's more to play for. Bit of like a humbling experience. I think Tasman come out the gates, and it's a bit of a beat Big Brother up as well, beating Canterbury. So keen for them to get out and get that win. So I have Wellington, Steamers, Taranaki, and the Marcos. And you have
Counties, Bay of Plenty, Waikato, Tasman.
Well,
we're aligned 50%.
Yeah, it's not bad.
50%.
Not too bad. Okay, well, we'll get into our 3 plays of the week then, starting with our gut plays.
Yep.
Mine is to do with the NPC.
Sweet.
And it is, I think, I can't look past how good Counties looked, and I'm just going to take them at the plus 11.5 point start at $1.85. I do think Wellington win it. And the weather is looking good down here for the weekend. So I think it will allow for some good running attack in rugby. And I think both teams will be putting points on the board. But they'll trade blows almost. And I think there'll probably be a try or a penalty in it.
Yep.
So,
which is crazy because that is the wider spread game of the lot.
Yeah, it is.
At 11.5. So it is good.
I did think if there was an upset in any of the 4 games, it would be this one. But I don't want to bet against Wellington, so I'm taking Counties plus 11.5.
Yeah. It's just that 420.
As my gut play.
Very nice. I'll head to Bathurst.
Ooh, okay.
Moster is a driver that's...
Chaz.
He's popped up for me before, perhaps 2 years ago. And his name has popped up again, so my gut play is to follow him. Him and I think he's with Holdsworth this race, so we're going for a podium finish.
Okay. What's he paying for the podium finish?
230.
Can I ask what he's been popping up in? What capacity has his name been popping up for you?
Not the last Bathurst, the Bathurst before that. I think he also got a podium finish that I backed him on. I think I backed him on the top 3. So, something along the either last year or the year before that. Yeah, for sure. But again, his name just pops up. Mostert. Boom. Although he is Australian, you've also got Mostert that plays for the Springboks. There's another connection there.
Yeah.
So I'm backing him again for a podium.
You kind of like the Dolphins, don't you? Raheem Mostert is the running back as well. So you got 3 connections there.
3 for top 3. Come on. Boom.
It's a hell of a gut play there.
Indeed.
Okay. Do you want to roll into your stat play then? Leaning into the NPC and the Steamers.
Steamers. Yeah, so as I said, that quarterfinal game last year between the two of them, 66-point game.
Yep.
In that same season, a 73-point game. So looking to go for something similar when it comes to this weekend. They haven't played each other yet this season.
No, they haven't, eh?
Which is silly.
Which is
that
odd.
all the teams don't play all the teams. Anyway, the total points margin is 60.5 right now. So those two previous encounters trump that. And, they all, Bay of Plenty have a game in hand, and then Hawke's Bay had a game in hand. They've both won apiece, those last two. So 60.5 is high for the season, I think.
And in playoff football as well.
It is high, but I think we will go for the overs here. We'll follow the stats and go for 1.85. That's not bad. 60.5, especially the game last year was a quarterfinal as well. So hopefully both their defenses are dog and get a high-scoring game.
Okay, nice. So we're switching positions then. I went NPC first, you went Bathurst. You hit me with an NPC play. I'm going to hit you with a Bathurst play.
Oh, very nice.
For my stat play, last year we had the first race where there was not a Ford versus Holden battle. After the Holden was retired, three years previous, but it was just the last one of the Commodore, was replaced by Chevy and the Camaro. So Holden, since the first race in 1963, had 135 Bathursts. If you count in Chevy taking over from Holden, they won last year with Shane Van Gisbergen at the wheel. So you can't go wrong with SVG there. But I'm carrying on that streak. Holden, I'm going to say they have 35, but Chevy came in, replaced them. We'll take it to 36. They're going to continue that dominance, and the winning car of Bathurst is going to be a Chevy.
Okay.
Giving me $1.57. So last week I didn't do so well once again, so I wanted to really just keep things simple. Like I said, there's a lot on when you find your niche, but I didn't want to overcomplicate things this year.
Yeah.
Feel like there's a 50-50 shot, but $1.57 for the Chevy to win. Go back to back. Just give me that.
But I hope Chaz Mostert doesn't come and steal that top place on the podium.
Well, hopefully he finishes second or third.
Yeah,
but
which is fine by me.
Another one I liked in there was the winning margin. It's a little bit more risky, but if you want to have a dabble, there's the winning margins 3+ second is paying $3, but you can bet between 0 and 1 second, 1 and 2 seconds, or 2 and 3 seconds. I think it's something like one of the stats was 11 of the last 18 or 17 Bathurst 1000s have finished between 0 and 2 seconds. So there's good value in that 0 to 1 and 1 to 2 mark. Is an interesting one. I think they're paying like $5 and $9 or something crazy. So could be in for an iconic close finish this weekend over the Tasman.
Yeah, it will definitely be good to have it on the background anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Hot streak.
UFC comes into the mix. We've got a fight night. Oh, yes. Nothing too tantalizing, but Tatsuro Taira, 16-0. 16-0. Yep. Last two fights have ended in KO, TKO.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's a lock. He's going up against a very strong opponent, Brandon Royale, who has fought both ex-champ and current champs in that division. But 16-0 is hard to look past. So probably be a challenging one for him. But it's a hot streak nonetheless, so I'm going for a third KO, TKO in a row.
Oh, okay.
Which is paying 8s.
Oh.
Very nice.
What?
Indeed.
What's he paying head-to-head?
I think it's about $1.30.
Why is it paying so much for
because of this stiff competition he's coming up against. It's definitely going to be his most challenging fight.
How's he won his other... Well, he's done 2 in a row by KO, TKO. Yep. How's he won his other 14
The one before
fights?
that was decision. He's got a couple submission wins to his name. Okay. So I'm narrowing in on that last 2. One by KO, TKO.
Interesting. I feel like that 8s is crazy.
Yeah. But I expect something like that. And as I said, I don't think it's a lock. But at 8, I will aim for the hot streak, of course.
Nice.
He's paying $1.36 to win. Otherwise, submission $2.50.
Oh, so he's more. And what's the by decision or by points?
375.
Oh, so they reckon he's more likely to submit.
Yep.
And then maybe to the judges.
On the basis that they reckon, like, Brandon's takedown defense isn't as strong. I would like to see this guy go toe-to-toe and kind of prove the doubters wrong and be like, no, I belong up this way. So, hot streak.
Yeah.
KO TKO. Make it 17-0.
Nice.
Boom.
I'm sticking with the NFL for my hot streaks. Now, Joe Burrow, despite having a 1-4 record with the Bengals, has been cooking. You probably couldn't tell, but he is first in touchdowns thrown. He's second in QBR rating. He has thrown 12 touchdowns, and he absolutely torched the Ravens last week, throwing for 396 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
He has gone, since the opening game against the Patriots, scratch that one, last 4 games, he has had a completion of over 40 yards. So his longest completion has been like 44 yards, 47 yards, 61 yards, 75 yards.
Okay.
And he's progressively getting more and more. So the hot streak to go 5 in a row, Joe Burrow coming up against the Giants. They stink. He's going to torch him, and he's going to have a completion of over 37.5 yards for his longest completion. Probably thanks to Jamar Chase getting yards after the catch, because that guy's electric. And do it for my fantasy team.
JB.
So the play, Joe Burrow, longest passing completion, over 37.5. Passing yards at $1.91. Thanks for coming.
Cool.
Nice. Alrighty.
Slim Shady.
Yeah, well, and they need to win this one. They can't beat the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're basically right off the season for them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to our group chat multi. I'm just going to give you my 2 right off the bat. Nice and easy. Don't want to overcomplicate things. Team Emirates Team New Zealand, sorry, I should say. They're the defending champs for the reason. There are 2 races on Sunday. I'm picking us to win race 1. And I'm picking us to win race 2. Nice and simple. I think they're paying about $1.60 each to win. Just need to get one through the hoop. Need to see it going. So I'm picking New Zealand to win the opening 2 races of the 37th Louis Vuitton America's Cup.
Louis Vuitton.
So that's where I am.
Okay.
And I've got those locked in already.
Okay.
You want to hit me with your 2 picks?
You're going to love this. International friendly. I mean, Nations Cup. Italy versus Belgium.
They're probably only the one good game.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only good game. Quotation marks. Italy won this one. Belgium, terrible start to this cup. They've got a lot of omissions. No Kevin De Bruyne. They've left Lukaku, who usually comes off the bench and scores for them. So I think Italy just take this one. I think the odds reflect that. Italy are paying $1.85.
Yep. Correct.
And then we're going to Pem Palmer playing in his actual position, England to beat Greece at $1.25.
Oh, nice. Okay, so just England to win straight up.
Indeed.
Nice. Wonder if Cole Palmer will save a penalty that game. So our multi, we have Team New Zealand to win race 1 at $1.65. Team New Zealand to win race 2 at $1.65. Italy to beat Belgium at $1.85. England to beat Greece at $1.25.
Indeed.
Giving us a grand total of $6.29. Multi-rescue or odds boost brings us to $6.70.
Always rescue.
We're multi-rescuing.
If we're on the bet slip, you got to rescue.
Yeah. And, I mean, the toolbox is there for the reason.
Yep.
We might as well jump on it. Wait, the odds boost isn't giving us too much there.
And New Zealand boats of late have not been doing too well. There's been a few sinkages. There's been a few crashes.
Not the Navy and
so let's rescue. Let's be there to help them out just in case.
Okay. Alrighty, they are locked in. As always, if you want to follow our bets, if you want to follow along, they'll be there on our Bet Social profiles. I've just placed the multi and my 3 gut play, stat play, hot streak. We're on there. You can go find it. Good luck if you're having a punt this weekend. And hopefully we can come back next week
Mm.
and talk about how much we won over the weekend, and hopefully we can get some through.
Surely.
Nice. Alrighty, thank you for listening. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.